Hi everyone, I am Graham Wright the Fourth. Thank you for coming over to my YouTube channel. I know a lot of you guys came because, actually not a lot of you, all of you came because I was in a Justin Rhodes video, actually two of them, and yeah, I appreciate that y'all want to come over. I woke up this morning to 80 subscribers and my mind is baffled at that. It's incredibly humbling and also incredibly exciting at the same time. So yeah, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. So let's talk about who I am. There were a few comments people wanted to see a homestead tour, and people who wanted to get to know me. So this video, we're gonna do that. We're gonna get to know Graham a little bit, and then I'm going to give you a little tour of our homestead. So like I said, I'm Graham Wright the Fourth. My wife and I and our family, we live out here in western or northwestern North Carolina, in a small town called West Jefferson. We have been here for just over a year, and before that we bounced around all over the country. My wife and I, we met in San Diego, and that's where I got introduced into kind of the local food scene, purchasing, shopping local, CSAs, farmers markets, things like that. And then Justin started posting videos around 2015, 2016, and I was like, man, I really would love to do that someday. But you know, things got in the way, family, finances, lack of property, things like that. And so it's great to know that one day is finally here. My wife and I, we have 4 kids. Our oldest is 7 years old. Well, she'll be 7 in November. And then I have a son who is 5 years old, a son who is 3 years old, and then our youngest daughter, she is just over a year old. Yeah, so that's us. What I do for work. So I have the benefit of working remotely for a great company. I do customer experience research. Sounds fancy. All that really is that I send out surveys to people to understand their experience, collect that data, analyze it, and then send it back to different teams to act on it. So if you ever get a survey in your email, those come from people like me, and I would encourage you to take them. We love when people actually take those surveys. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's given me the freedom to live in a more rural place, where I can grow food, where I can have my chickens, where my kids can run around and play. It's allowed us to leave the city. If any of you've read the 4-Hour Work Week, you know that L for deal is location, and that's, you know, being able to uncouple yourself from the office. And one of the nice things about COVID-19, I guess, is that gave me that freedom, right? Before, we were all going into offices and required me to live closer to a major metropolitan city, and now I don't have to do that. As long as I have an internet connection, I can do my job from wherever. Yeah, so that's what I do for work. And then let's see. Oh yeah, like I said, we're out here in a small town, West Jefferson. Our property's just under 2 acres of land. And one thing that we really loved about this property when we purchased it was that being up in the mountains, it's actually fairly flat. Hold on one second. You know, we're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop for the wind. Hopefully the mic cover is doing its job and blocking out the wind noise. Give it one more second. Okay. So we love that this property was actually relatively flat for being a mountain property. And when I say relatively flat, obviously it's got a gentle, very gentle slope. So it's not, nothing's perfectly flat. We also love this property because it's got a beautiful creek that runs through it. And because it's up in the mountains, it doesn't get terribly hot up here. We have pretty moderate days, and so which was a benefit for us. Okay, so that's kind of me, my family, a little bit, what we do for an income source. Obviously I'm getting into this YouTube thing. I blame Justin, it's his fault. Because like I said, I was watching him since 2015, 16, whenever he first started posting videos. And it made me want that. And there have been times where I've thought about starting a YouTube channel, and my wife has always been supportive of it, but like, I don't know, I never felt like I was ready. And then Justin invited people to sign up to potentially come volunteer for the Homestead Heroes elevated stuff that he's doing. Holy goodness. Sorry, there was a bug. So Justin posted on YouTube to his community asking people to sign up, and I did, not thinking that I would actually ever get chosen. And then I went over and helped out the Holtz, and that was such a rewarding weekend experience. And getting to be around people who had the same philosophy about like helping others and growing your own food, and it was awesome. It was amazing. So amazing that when I got home, I messaged Justin. I just said, hey, if you guys ever need more help, let me know. I think you guys have something coming up in July. He was more than happy to have me come back out. It was very, very awesome. So helping out with the Fruitland Farmstead, it's where most of you probably know me from, because in between the Fruitland Farm, or the Holtz and the Fruitland Farmstead, and with the encouragement of Bobby and Sherry, and the Holtz, truthfully, and just being around everyone, I started this channel. So I do this YouTube thing as well. So I'm still learning video editing. That's not my, sorry, making sure that my camera is still recording, because every time I've ever tried to record this, it cuts off on me. Still learning video editing, and hopefully we'll be able to start actually cutting videos together, so they're not so much of me just rambling on. But so still new to content creation, if that's what you want to call it. Let's see, so some Homestead kind of people who inspire me, or those who I watch very regularly. Obviously Justin Rhodes and his family, they are fantastic, and I love that he has found a way to blend educational and entertainment into one kind of style of video. Love the permaculture aspect, and that he follows Joel Salatin style regenerative permaculture farming stuff. I think that's fantastic. And then all these are going to kind of seem of course, because you like Justin, so you like these people as well. So the Hollers, they seem like an amazing family from what I can see on YouTube. I haven't met them in real life, but if I ever had the chance to, that would be pretty cool too. I love their family, and love seeing what they are doing on a bit bigger scale than what I'm on. I think they're on about 5 acres of property. So the Land is another YouTuber that I follow very frequently. They inspired me to go a lot smaller than what I had initially wanted. When I wanted to buy property, I wanted 10 acres minimum, ideally 50 to 100, and that wasn't in the cards because that's really expensive. And seeing what Jason and Lorraine are doing on a or what they were doing, right? They've expanded, but what they were doing in Asheville on, I think their property was like 1 acre, maybe 1.5 acres, if I remember correctly, and how they just maxed that sucker out. Yeah, that was very inspiring for me, and I want to do that myself. So yeah, they were great. Some other like non-YouTube inspired like homesteads, permaculture places. There's a farm in France, and I don't speak French, but it's I'll butcher this one. It's like Forme du Bec Halloween or something like that. I'll put the name down below and a picture of it. This farm is incredible. I mean, they have a total of 50 acres of property, and some of that's just for pastures and forests and things like that. But like they're doing permaculture on a decent scale, and it's incredible to see, and it's just a beautiful property there. Joel Salatin, obviously, when it comes to the regenerative world, and I mean, he was in what was that documentary, Food Inc., right? That's I think where a lot of people got exposed to Joel Salatin for the first time. And yeah, love that he's like the lunatic farmer, and he's willing to skirt regulations sometimes. He's great. Yeah, and so yeah, that's a little taste of some people that I follow on YouTube that have inspired me. And if you guys are following me but you're not following them, I don't know why, but Bobby and Sherry Black from Black's Tropical Homestead, they are so great in real life. Like they are just they're great people, but their content's also good as well. It's fantastic. So they're growing, like they're in like the Savannah, Georgia area, and so they're trying to grow fruits that you would typically grow in like Miami and the tropical zones up in a subtropic. But it's good stuff. So let me think. What do we have going on the homestead that I can tell you about before I show you about it? We do have chickens here. We have a small flock of 6 chickens right now, and they're just in like a little compost corner behind me. We do have a garden where we are growing tomatoes, some pepper plants, some jalapeno and bell pepper. We have some potatoes in the ground, and we have some bush beans, and you'll get to see all of that as well. I did say I would do a homestead tour, or a tour of the property. So let's go ahead and do that before I forget. Well, I actually did forget, so we're going to go do that right now. Yeah, okay, so this tree over here, that's where I was just recording back there. Use my kid's playground set to set up the iPhone. I'm recording off of an iPhone, so I do apologize if like the video's not the greatest or whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip you guys around here. Okay, so here are our chickens, and they're just in this compost corner over here. They are about 16 weeks old, give or take a week or two, something like that. It's just a mixed flock, and they're doing great. If you are good at sexing chickens, you know what, you probably can't hear me. Hold on one second. Okay, so like I said, here is our compost corner for our chickens. This was a former doghouse for the previous owners here, and I just put the chickens in here while I am working on their actual chicken coop. I'm building like a Carolina coop style coop, and it's taken a little longer and more resources than I thought it was going to take. But if y'all are good at sexing chickens, like tell me how many of these are roosters and how many of these are hens. No one's crowing yet. No one's ever crowed. So I think they're all hens, but let me know. Okay. Yeah, so we have this little compost corner chicken coop over here. We have kind of all this open, I guess you could call it pasture. We're not putting animals on there right now. My eventual goal is I would love to run some meat chickens up in this area. And I would also, our property goes back into the woods. I'd love to get some goats potentially, or some pigs to run through that area. And so, yeah, on our property, there's our house over there, and there's part of the coop that I've been working on for 2 months now. That's what you get when you're doing this on the part-time. It takes a little bit longer. And here's where it's gonna go once I have some time to work on it, which I actually have time today to work on it, so maybe I will. Okay, so here we have kind of two different outbuildings off to the side here. One we used is this darker one's our wood shed. That's also where we store our lawnmower, garden tractor, whatever you want to call it. This one over here is kind of a woodworking shop for me right now. So we're storing all of our lumber to keep it out of the weather. And then eventually I want to tear this whole thing down and rebuild it, weatherproof it, and turn it into my home office, because our house is a small 3-bedroom, 1,300 square foot home, which is not great. So yeah, and before we go down the creek, I will go show you what we're growing in our garden right now. So here is this garden bed, and the reason we're using this bed here is because the former owners of this property, this is the bed that they put in. It had really good soil, and I wasn't going to take it out. So we have right now intermingled. We do have 4 different tomato, well, I mean, they're all the same tomato plant, but 4 tomato plants over here. And you can see that we do have tomatoes that are growing, but they have not started to ripen yet, and that's kind of frustrating for me. We do have this jalapeno plant over here that's grown a total of 2 jalapenos, which is 2 more than I had, or 2 less I have to buy at the store. And then we have a bell pepper plant over here. You can see we got this nice little baby bell pepper starting to grow. We did plant shishito peppers this year, and they did not take, but the plant is still there, one of the plants. So this little guy, that's a shishito pepper, and he is not growing at all. Here we have a bell pepper plant that never took. That one's worse for wear. Yeah. And then here's another jalapeno plant that has not produced anything. I leave them in just because, like, it lets the bugs eat something else. And then, yeah, on the back side here we have tomatoes. We are growing weeds, as you can see, because our garden, we got started late. It was really cold out here in November. And anyway, so we're growing a lot of weeds because, well, it was a fairly cold winter, or not winter, spring, and planting kind of got away from us. So I've just left the weeds in there because I don't see a need to pull them out yet. And they're doing, whoa, that was probably a terrible angle. And they're doing fine. You're still recording. Okay. We do have 2 potato plants that are growing in here. Actually, technically, it's 3 potato plants that are growing in here. Those are Yukon Gold potatoes. They're just kind of thriving by themselves, so total sheer and utter neglect. This is the way that I'm going about this for the garden. So, and then over here we have some rows of bush bean that we planted about, I want to say we planted these almost 2 weeks ago now. And they're doing great. They are growing, and let me show you those. Okay, so here are our bush beans that we have going on here. What we did like the sheet mulch kind of methodology. I needed to come back through with wood chips, and I just haven't had the opportunity yet, so it's just compost right now. But so we have the layer of weeds that we tarped, like you're seeing over here. So we trimmed them down, tarped them, and then covered them with cardboard that you can see is poking out over here, and then we did compost on top of that. And the reason we did that is, like you guys know, the cardboard's supposed to help with weed control. Slash sheet mulching is like probably the best way, from what I've been able to read, to be able to create good soil health that's alive. And you can see where it's already started to grow back because it's just, it's just there. So what I plan on doing on this tarp section is the same thing. So we'll trim down any of the green compost or green fertilizer, right, the weeds. We'll do cardboard over the top, and then we'll do compost on top of that. Actually, you know what, not in this section. This section we're planting, this here is we're gonna plant some carrots this coming week, because it's gonna be below 80. So we'll have good germination rate there, and we don't want the cardboard in place when we do that. So we'll probably just compost over the top and let the carrots be able to get down into the soil well. So the cardboard, the problem with that is that it would impede the growth. But here are our beans. So that section of exposed cardboard, that's going to be more beans. So you want to plant them every 2-ish weeks. So we'll probably do another row of beans, maybe 2 more of these rows of beans, and that will give us plenty of beans for the next little while. And so when we planted the green beans, I've never had too much success with growing food myself, which is why, like, our tomatoes and our peppers, those were all plant starts, because I do not have a green thumb sometimes. And so we planted the beans, and I didn't think they were going to take, and they just popped up. They were in the ground for about 5 days before they started to sprout. And the joy and the happiness from being able to grow my own food, right, that came. Like, oh my gosh, I planted the seed and it grew. I didn't go buy a start. I started that myself. So that was, I was like, oh, one day you're young and hip and going to the club, and the next year happy that your plants grew and you're posting pictures online. Anyway, okay. So yeah, let's keep walking about, and I'll take you guys down over to the creek. Here we are, chilling on this bridge. We've got the creek running over here. I'll flip you guys around so you guys can see what it looks like as well. Just gorgeous babbling creek. And then over here we do have some fruit trees that are growing, courtesy of the previous owners. So they had planted, this is cherry. So we've got this cherry plant here. We have another cherry plant over here that needs to be, we need to do something with this. It's growing sideways and I don't want that. And then we have blueberry bushes, and we also have some wild grapes growing on this property. So here are those. Here's me in front of those grapes. But yeah, these are Mustang grapes, if I remember correctly. They're pretty astringent. They're not like good for just eating, but apparently they make a pretty killer jam. And yeah, oh, there's one other thing that we are growing. I forgot to show you in the garden. We are also growing pumpkin for Halloween. So those were plant starts as well. And I planted them a little too closely together. And they're probably going to take over my whole yard, but I'm okay with that. And yeah, so there is the tour of the homestead. Yeah, okay, so sorry, that was a bit of a ramble. Let me know what you want me to know about me, right? I'll respond to all of the comments, as well, maybe not all of the comments. I'll respond to your comments. Let me know what you want to know about myself, about starting a small homestead, and also tell me what you think. How much land do you need to call yourself a homesteader? Am I lying by saying I'm a homesteader by having, you know, just a few chickens in a small garden, or what? Tell me what you think. And yeah, I have a few more videos that I am coming out with that I'm trying to edit. There's a video on answering the top 3 questions for homesteading according to AI. That will be coming out here shortly. And then now that Justin's posted his video from the Fruitland Farmstead elevated week, or elevated day that we did, I will now post my video. I didn't want to feel like I was stepping on his toes. And yeah, for all 80 of you who are subscribed, or however many you are now, thank you. It's truly humbling, and exciting at the same time. I never thought people would want to follow along with this journey. So yeah, thank you, and I appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and also like this video. I think that's what you're supposed to do. Smash the like button and subscribe for more homesteading content from a part-time homesteader and a full-time 9-to-5 employee. Thanks, everyone.